Welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. I'm turning this game off right now. The Lakers versus the Rockets, the Summer League game with a minute and 14 seconds to go. Okay? I wouldn't give a damn if Bronny scores 20 points in the next minute and now 7 seconds. Look, Bronny, 3 for 14 from the field, 0 for 8 from three-point land. Is a -9, 2 turnovers, 2 steals, no blocks, 5 rebounds. Look, man. Look. This is what I'm gonna say. I'm more interested in what ESPN is doing right now. This is sickening. Let the man play basketball. It's like we're watching a LeBron game and all they're talking about is LeBron from the beginning to damn near the end. Instead of us watching his on-court play and us seeing what he's doing on the court, they're telling us what he did in 2008, his longevity, how many times he's been to the finals, how's he still doing this? Nobody drives the ball like this guy, the greatest passer. We've never seen nothing like this. This is the same thing with Bronny. They're not letting the man play basketball. And what they're doing is they're trying to, what do you want to call it? They're trying to make up excuses for what's going to happen before the damn game even progresses through the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, the fourth quarter. They're trying to make up excuses. They're telling us how he's a good brother to his sister and his younger brother. His heart problems. How he played good in scrimmage games before the summer league. He's doing pin down screens when he never even did a pin down screen on the damn defender. At one point, he had a pass thrown to him and he got it rejected. If I'm not mistaken, was that the one? I don't know if he did get rejected on one play. He got blocked. But either he got rejected or he lost the ball one. And they start blaming the guy that threw it to him. He should have thrown it earlier. He was wide open before he threw the ball to him at that point. We're talking about LeBron James in the game. Redick comes on and they're doing an interview with him. I don't know why. This is the D League, basically, which is the summer league. Why are you here? So he's on there hyping himself up, patting himself on the back. Nobody even asked him about, him and LeBron talking about the coaching job, but he just feels it's his duty again to talk about him and LeBron. Never talked about him getting a coaching job, never, until the Lakers called him. He starts talking about what he wants from Bronny to be this stifling on-ball defender. What? You don't want the man to get in the gym and work on his free throws? You don't want him to get in the gym and work on his three-point game? You don't want the man to get in the gym since he's supposed to be this point guard and that's all he can really play at 6'1"? You don't want him to get in the gym and be a playmaker? This guy's talking about defense? They're running all over Bronny on that court. D-leaguers. Guys that will never make an NBA team. This guy also said, Redick, that he's in it for the long term for Bronny. What? Basically. They're committed to him in the long... Like, what? This man is on the court breaking it up left and right. Left and right. And never in the game are they talking about, hopefully Bronny, even though he's young, he didn't have that much time in USC. His father has all faith in him. This is why he got drafted. Hopefully he can get in the gym and work on his free throws, his three-point shooting. Why the hell is he taking all these threes? Maybe a mid-range game? Something. They don't want to hold the man accountable. ESPN is like, Bronny is like ESPN's little baby. Did LeBron transfer the birth certificate over to ESPN? What's going on here? This is what you do for your children when they're young. You make excuses for them. That's your baby. But eventually, when they get older, you got to stop making excuses for them. This man is older. He's a grown man. What's he, 19, 20 years old or something? He was a one and done. One and dones are supposed to be good. They talked about this man the entire first half, just about. Disgusting. Doris Burke and Mark Jones, disgusting. Disgusting individuals. These are not the play-by-play guys that I grew up with that held players accountable. Especially if they were talked about this much, being held in high regard. What are we doing? No wonder this guy is breaking it up. Hold this guy accountable. Hold the kid accountable so he can get better. Stop making up all these excuses before he even plays a whole first quarter. Yeah, they knew what was going to happen because they're looking dumb now. In the first two games, they look like idiots. So they got to come out with all these narratives around, oh, he's a high character guy. He's a good guy. What does this have to do with basketball? He grew up not wanting nobody to give him nothing. He had to prove himself. What? This is basketball. Either you're good enough or you're not. ESPN is worse than Bronny's actual game. They're making it worse. It's disgusting. I can't even believe this is the network I grew up watching. Bill Walton, one of the biggest critics. It don't matter if he was watching, doing play-by-play analysts on ESPN or NBC, NBA basketball, or college basketball. He held you accountable. He held you accountable as a basketball player. You didn't block out, he'd call it out. You were shooting too many threes when you ain't supposed to, he would call it out. You breaking up threes or free throws in big moments, he'd call you out. You didn't box out, he'd call you out. You don't have guys like that. They're making this guy's career worse than his actual play on the court. And this is the first game I got to see. First two games, it was over in the fourth quarter. I didn't get to see the games. But I couldn't even believe the stats. And I wasn't even looking to watch this game. I just turned on the TV, boom, it was on. From the beginning to the end, I watched. Look, if this guy is supposed to be the point guard, how come he's not running this offense? He's doing a lot of standing around at the three-point line. He's not a three-point shooter. He's not really in the flow of the game. Drive to the basket, kick the ball out. Set some screens. Get open and shoot the three. Act like you're going to shoot the three, pump fake it, and drive. This guy is not in the game as a basketball player. I'm telling you, anybody listen to this channel right now, you could go out there and put up the points he's putting up. It's not impressive. He's not really in the flow of the game. And that's why when he gets his chances, or when he gets a chance to shoot, he's breaking them up. You got to keep yourself in the flow of the game. Especially when you need to prove to the naysayers your contract, your position, your draft spot. He's not in the flow of the game. That's something Bill Walton would say, other play-by-play guys would say back in the day. Son, get in the game. Touch the ball every possession down court. I mean, they ripped him right when the game started. And I can tell you the truth, they probably could rip him all game. He don't have those type of handles, man. You can't put up double digits in one game with all the attempts you had. Drop to the basket and get the foul. You're LeBron James' son. You're probably going to get the foul. Why aren't you driving? He's scared he's going to get blocked. They show Savannah James. She ain't looking too. She ain't looking too good. I'm not trying to beat up on her or trying to diss her, but she looks sick. And not physically, they just pan to her. She looks mentally sick. She don't look right. Look what she's going through. Her son's being used as a pawn, a gimmick to make money. And I can tell you what. I'm telling my sons, if I got 1 point something billion, you don't have to do this. I had to do this to get in a better situation financially. Go start you a business or businesses and be a businessman. Why are you out on the court running around when you're not even good enough to play college basketball? But like I said, ESPN is making this whole thing worse with these excuses and these narratives all game before we can even watch the whole damn quarter. What's going on? They already know. They already know. They already know this kid isn't good enough. And then they had the nerve to start him? They have the nerve to start him. If you have the nerve to start him, let him at least run the offense since he's a brick fest. Yes, he hit a couple easy shots. It's nothing. He's playing against guys who will never play in the NBA and guys that are going down to the D League. And he like what on his team? What was he, like the 5th leading scorer? How's he going to be good enough for the NBA? The best basketball players and athletes in the world. And then they had it heard to say at one point, to make an NBA roster, you have to be a two-way player. First of all, that's not true. That's not true, especially in this era. And if you think that's true, then why the hell is Bronny James just signed a guaranteed contract and got drafted? When did he ever prove that he was a two-way player? Durant's not a two-way player. Luka's not a two-way player. LeBron's not a two-way player. And we can go on and on and on in this NBA. And that's why it kind of tickled me when J.J. Redick was sitting up there saying he wants Bronny to be this, pretty much a lockdown defender, on-the-ball defender, all up on guys. Huh. First of all, he's never been that. If he was, these are the instincts that you learned in high school. These are the instincts you would have learned in college. And these are the instincts, or those instincts were the instincts you would have learned from your father or being around the NBA for this long. It's looking real bad. I mean, you can start your telecast with Doris Burke and Mark Jones, and you guys can lie and tell narratives and cover up before the game even starts, during the first quarter, second. It's all going to come out. And it did again. He's not aggressive. He's not decisive. He doesn't have any touch. Yes, he can get some easy points. He has played basketball all his life. So he can get some easy points. But just because you play basketball all your life, it doesn't mean you're good enough to play with the greatest basketball players in the world. And if you were, you would be showing it against these D leaguers. If you was listen, if this guy was coming out, Bronny, and he was balling against these D leaguers, putting up 12 points, 15 points, maybe 20 points. You know what people would say? This is what they would say. Nah, okay. Okay, he put up 15, 20 points against D leaguers. Some of these guys won't even make a D League roster when this summer league is over. We'll be working at UPS, driving garbage trucks. So real NBA fans really wouldn't be impressed because you're not going against, great NBA players or NBA players that's going to be playing in the NBA in the coming up season. So we wouldn't be like impressed, but we'll be like, well, okay, man, he putting up 15, 20 points a game. That's kind of impressive, being that, he only put up like a few points in his college career, in his short college career. So at least he showed us he can put up more points and be more efficient against these D-leaguer garbage truck driving guys. Well, maybe he does got something if he keeps working on his game. Go down to the D-League, show them what's up. Because the D-League guys are the guys that have an opportunity to make the NBA if they work on their game. But guess what? He's not even doing that. It's embarrassing. All these guys out here getting it in on top of Bronny in his summer league, in these games. And all they can talk about is him? Why he's breaking it up? Why he's standing around? Why he's not being aggressive? Goodness gracious. I don't even know how many games they played or they're going to play in this summer league. For me to be like, he could... Oh my goodness. If he put up 30 points in the next game, I still wouldn't be impressed. I still wouldn't be impressed. That would be like if Dennis Rodman put up 25 points one game. We would all say that's a fluke. We would all say that's a fluke because we know Dennis couldn't do it again. Dennis couldn't do it again anytime soon. And not to diss Dennis Rodman, but that's not his game. His game was rebounding and defense. So if Bronny put up 30 the next game, I would say it's a fluke because I know he couldn't do it the next game. That's not his game. I don't know. Maybe he'll prove us wrong in the rest of these games. But it's not even about this guy no more. It's about ESPN. You're really making this guy look worse than what he looks. Let the man play basketball. It's almost like the guy hears what you're saying. And to me, I think he knows what the world is saying about him. Because they're telling these lies and narratives talking about, he don't let the pressure get to him. He don't care what anybody thinks. Well, either he does or he just sucks. Or he just sucks. This is the time to take control, improve yourself, prove the doubters, prove your position, your second round position pick, your contract.